Yo.
You just had to do something.
I made something
You
up.
just had to make something up.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Why couldn't you just keep it at hey?
Nah, yo, that's my new joint.
You won't forget it.
No, I'm not.
What's up?
What's up with you, beautiful? You look amazing.
We back in this piece.
Yes, we are. You look beautiful.
You like my bright colors?
I do.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for spring and summer.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. Yeah, spring
ready.
right around the corner.
Yeah, spring right around the corner.
I never know when seasons hit.
You don't know when anything hits. You are terrible with dates and stuff like that. Y'all, please make sure that you are following Friends Who Smash Podcast for all of our updates. We have a lot of things coming up.
A lot of
we
stuff.
have our shop on there with our hoodies, our T-shirts, all of that stuff. Friends Who Smash Podcast on Instagram. Please support us. We are both full-time entrepreneurs, and your support is greatly appreciated.
Greatly.
Once you receive your items, please take a picture, tag us in it, let your friends know, let their friends know that we have all the things.
All the things.
We are getting ready for our live show, which will be here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We are at capacity with our live show.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, we're at capacity with our live show.
Yeah.
And so we're excited about our live show. We're excited about our guests.
Well, it's happening. What? It's happening like next week.
Next week, yeah. Next week is the live show. Is it next week?
It's close. Put it that way.
Yeah. It's very close. So we're excited about that. We are at Spizzy Studios, at Drink Spizzy on Instagram.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vic and Tensler for opening their doors, for allowing Black businesses to level up in their dreams and all of the things that we are trying to accomplish by sharing their space with us. They have 2 locations, one in Brandywine and one in Temple Hills, Camp Springs. Make sure you look them up at Drink Spizzy on Instagram. So that's what we're doing.
I just wanna compliment you.
Why?
Because with this podcast, y'all, I take care of all of the technical stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Video, audio,
editing. All that. And my wife, she plans like the shows, and I come in here not knowing what we're going to talk about
ever.
and she's the one that comes up with like these topics and all of these different things. So I'm just proud because you killing it. Killing it. You really are.
We're forced when what's the song?
We're
I'm a movement by myself,
but we're forced when we're together. I'm a movement by myself.
Baby, you make me better. You make me better. That's one thing I love about this marriage or this connection. Period.
Yeah.
Not just we feel like we far away this time.
We are. Get close.
About this connection is that we really complement each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
And we definitely take the time to study one another, to see what is needed, you know what I mean, to make it whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just like, we may feel overwhelmed at times, but we do it with love and care and compassion, and knowing that if I do this will ease his load, or if I do this will ease her load. And that's very important in a marriage, to feel like that. And also, like, just to go back real quick to the overwhelming part, like, I rarely feel overwhelmed. I may have like a sense of anxiety sometimes. It doesn't happen.
You say rarely?
When I feel like I have to ease your load.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I have to ease your load, because sometimes you may be emotionally to capacity.
Yeah.
And I may be emotionally at capacity at that moment too, right? But I know that it's something that you need that I can provide. And I'm not just talking about material stuff. I'm talking about like space or time or a kind gesture.
Yeah.
Or anything that will help you to just ease your load. You know what I'm saying? And also just to add to something that you may feel like you just can't get done because you just don't have the capacity to do it. You know what I mean? And I know that I may have the capacity, even if I feel like my cup is running over. It's like, shit, it's already running over. Let me just do this. You know what I mean? And I know that you'll be okay. And like, honestly, in the end, if you're okay and I'm okay, we're both okay.
Yeah.
And so just taking it that extra step. And I just wanted to say that because I don't think that very many people know that being a helpmate is not a bad thing in your marriage. It's not a bad thing at all. Yeah, so anyway, but also speaking of that, like shout out to our village, right? For coming through. We just had our baby's second birthday, which was way better than the first birthday party.
The first birthday was dull as I don't know what.
It wasn't dull, but it was just so much tension, because we weren't in a good space.
What did we do the first birthday?
We had like a party for her, but remember we were seriously beefing. Like we were beefing heavy.
Oh.
Like we were beefing so bad that it made our guests uncomfortable.
You're right. And I forgot
you
about that.
You know what? I'm going to shout out to my mother every episode now. Shout out to Cindy Girl, one of our number one supporter for Friends Who Smash podcast.
Yeah, I move your joint. That's on all of my pictures.
You know what she said? Know what she said the other day? She said she was telling Woo and Nick at the party. She said, this party is, how she talked, this party is so much better because, the last party, he was about to go from calling me Ma to Miss Cynthia. She said, I was so serious. I was mad for months at him for that.
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody that came out to her birthday party. And we just had a really good time. She danced the whole time. She danced. The whole time. We don't talk about broom. No.
Do you say no. I'm so in love with her.
Yeah, she is the bomb. She is such a special person.
She really is.
She is going to be so successful. She's going to be so driven. She's going to be, and I don't want to place the word resilient on her because the moment you think about resilient, it means
think about you had to go through a lot of struggles.
When I think about her, I think that she is not going to take no for an answer. She's going to stand up for herself. She's not going to let anybody back her in the corner.
Yeah.
She's going to stand on her own 2 feet, 10 toes down. She's just going to be an amazing person. You can already see it in her.
Yeah, she's different.
She's
definitely different.
She's.
But I think everybody probably says like this kind of stuff about their kids.
I don't think so. You know when your child is like. When your child is, I'm not gonna say not gonna be shit, but you can tell that when they just like, they need some
help.
Yeah, they gonna need some help. This motherfucker gonna need some help.
Yeah, shout out to my Fat Five. Shout out to Royal Sage.
Mm-hmm. She the big 2 now. So, this episode I wanted to kind of, it's probably gonna be like all over the place, but it's some things that I wanted to like talk about on the podcast.
Okay.
Because we've talked about this. You say this. You've said this more than 3 times.
Okay.
Happy wife.
Happy life.
Yes.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
But you know what's so crazy? I've seen some influencers, some celebrity husbands that all agree that happy wife is happy life.
No.
That have like, what we can see on social media, and some of them have done like documentaries, like those famous documentaries.
Yeah.
They've done those, and one of the things that they've said is happy wife, happy life.
No.
But you don't feel like that.
No,
so what do you feel like?
I think happy wife, happy life. I think that doesn't take in account the man's like his well-being. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's in our nature to make a woman happy. You know what I'm saying? The society has, always looked at, how is the man making her feel? You know what I'm saying? How is the man supporting her? How, like, the majority and I don't want to say the wrong thing.
You don't want to say the wrong thing? When the fuck did this happen? When did that happen? When did you want to be politically correct?
So I just think that everything has been taught, or everything has been, the emphasis has been, make sure that you make the woman happy. And I think that some men go into depression or go into, not caring about their feelings or their well-being to make sure that their wife is okay. And if you're married to someone that is like a narcissist, or like if she doesn't take the time to take care of you, then the only thing you're doing is pouring into something, and it's not pouring into you. And I don't think that just because your wife is happy that she's going to pour into you.
So I'm going to counter you on that.
Okay.
So in previous conversations, you've said that if I am not okay, the whole house is not okay.
That's true.
So if I'm not happy, then nobody else in the house is happy or feels comfortable. So
that's true.
But how do you navigate?
No, I mean, you're making my point, because if you're happy in the house and the whole house is happy and I'm not happy, who checks on me? Who like how do I become happy? How do I get what I need? And I won't get it because I'm overlooked by everybody because they think the house is happy. Because you are happy in the house.
I think that you are holding on to some type of trauma because I always check on you.
I'm not talking about
you. I know,
you.
But I'm talking about us. I'm talking about us now. I'm not generalizing this. It was generalized at first when I asked the question first. But I'm trying to.
But my answer.
I'm trying to give real life examples. And so with me doing that, the only way that I want to do that is with us because I'm in this. And so.
Right. But the example you gave, right, you used it to generalize, this whole conversation. And the response that I gave was general too. It's not about us. It's about, like, I think that women in general are the ones, like, if they are upset in the house, then they make the whole house feels uncomfortable. So I'm not just saying it is you. I think that is a universal thing.
So you think men or husbands sacrifice their peace, their joy, their happiness so that their wife can be happy?
I don't think that they sacrifice their peace, their joy, their happiness. I think that they do what they do because they want to make their wives happy. But some of us do it without taking care of ourselves. Some of us do it to make someone else feel good, thinking that it will make us feel good in return.
How do we change that?
I mean, they say happy house, happy spouse. That's the new one, happy house, happy spouse. I think that it is important for me to make sure that you're well. It is important for me to make sure that you are healthy and that you are at peace and that you have mental capacity and, all of these things, and that you're not overwhelmed and I'm helping and all of that. But I also think that it's important. And even though I may not allow you to do certain things for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you may want to come and help me and I may be like, nah, that's all right. I got it. But the fact that you are concerned about it, the fact that you want to help me with that, it gives me a sense of peace. It gives me a sense of,
and that's what I wanted to talk about too. Like, it really bothers me that the narrative that men have is that, and this is true for some men, well, maybe most. I don't know the statistics. I didn't take the time to look because I didn't know it was going to get into this, but they talk about how no one checks on them, how no one cares, how no one, asks them how they feel, how no one is tending to their needs. But they also don't talk. They shut down. And I think that is unfair. I feel like it's unfair. I feel like if men want help, what are they going to do to get help, as opposed to continuing with this narrative for years and years of we don't have a space.
Let me ask you a question. Right now we have a 2-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She's in a stage now where she cries for things that she wants. If she doesn't get them, she'll throw a semi-tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
It upsets me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't put my hands on her or nothing. but I try to put something in place like timeout. Mm-hmm. You say, let her cry. It's just a phase. She's expressing herself. Mm-hmm. It'll be good. Mm-hmm. There was a young child that was a boy. He wasn't of our family. We just was around him. I'm not going to say no names or nothing. And he would cry all the time. Mm-hmm. And you couldn't stand that little kid.
Oh my God, what little kid was this?
You couldn't stand that little kid because you said he cried too much.
Oh God.
So if Royal was a boy and she was doing what she was doing now, you wouldn't tolerate it.
I would.
I don't agree because you don't tolerate it for your nephews. You know what I'm saying? You don't tolerate it. And that's the thing, is that for whatever reason y'all feel like y'all see it the same, but y'all don't. You look at masculinity the way you look at masculinity. Like, it is what it is, and that's what it is. So if we are conditioned not to,
I'm still laughing at the fact that you
couldn't stand that little boy. You couldn't stand being around him.
He was older than Think. He was older than her.
I mean, regardless.
And he could talk. He can use his words. He could use his words to say what was wrong with him. Yes, she can talk, but sometimes she's so frustrated she doesn't know the words to say.
If Royal was a little boy, you would not respond the same way that you're responding now. It just would not happen. Because I know how your brothers were, how they were raised and all of that. You wouldn't feel that way. You wouldn't. Your mother, it just wouldn't happen. And so we spent years with that. Years of our lives with people saying man up and you know what I'm saying, you good or whatever. It has just become normal. We've just normalized therapy for men. Recently, within the last 5 years, we're trying, and we're still in the process of normalizing therapy and for men. And men are the highest rate. Black men in general are the highest rate of suicide. Do you think that that's by what do you think the cause of that is?
I think it's suppression.
And why do you think? So just think of something that you suppressed. You know what I'm saying? Why would you suppress it?
I've suppressed it because of how it will possibly make other people feel. And embarrassment. And the older I get, I look at it like, embarrassment was what it was before, but the older I get, it's like I shouldn't be embarrassed by that. Like, that wasn't something that I chose to do. You know what I mean? That was something that actually happened to me. But so the biggest thing would be, is how it would change the trajectory of the relationships that I have with people that I love and care about.
Okay.
And so that's why I've suppressed it. So I've grown to face most, if not 98% of my stuff. I've grown to face that stuff, but it's just a few things, maybe a couple of things that I have not dealt with because of, I feel like what it would do to relationships, and how it would change and what would happen if I even talked about it.
Do you know that there's some women that think that a man crying is unattractive?
Yes, I feel like I know women that feel like they think it's weak.
So I don't understand how you don't understand how that hasn't conditioned us.
I'm talking about for the men that have a safe space.
How do you know you have a safe space? Like, how do you have to test out safe spaces? It's not like you go into something and then on top of that, there have been some men who've been in relationships that thought they have safe spaces, and the information that they gave the person was then weaponized.
That's true. And,
So
and
how
I
do
think
you?
I think that can go both ways too. And you know what? And so I'll say this. At the time that it's being weaponized, it may be out of spite. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to it not being like a real feeling. And I'm not saying that for everybody, because I know I have possibly done that. And it wasn't because I'm just a mean person. It was because I was so angry. You know what I mean? And like trying to get back at that person. I'm not saying that it was right. I'm just saying that that's just, you know, a fucked up human trait that we have, you know? Yeah. Until you can grow to a space of having empathy and having conversations with love and empathy, as opposed to having conversations when you're upset with the person and throwing things that they've done in their face to show that they're this is why you wrong. Remember when you told me this, when you did this. I have a track record. Like, you want to pull up the track record to prove something that the present argument, you have all these things that will support this argument. So now this is why you're wrong and this is why I'm right. And so I can see why somebody would do that in that moment. And then, like, because you've told me before that you didn't feel safe at one point.
Safe what? Talking to you?
Yeah. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember telling me that? You don't remember saying to me, and one time I asked you, I was like, well, why aren't you talking to me about this? You said, because you don't make me feel that was when we were going through our stuff, but you said, because you don't make me feel safe. That thing hurt me so bad, because I was like, how could you tell me this?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember one time we were on vacation one time. Mm-hmm. And you know, I was real vulnerable at the breakfast table. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? We was
when we were with Vic and Tinsley?
Yeah. Uh-huh. I was real vulnerable at the breakfast table. And what I said was just like, yeah, whatever.
So that just goes back to what I was saying about, like, being in a space where you are not able to have empathy and love in the relationship, in the conversation. You are just it was so much that built up to that moment that it was so hard for me. Right?
I understand that.
Yeah, it was so hard for me.
I get it, but what I'm saying is, it is much harder, in my opinion, and I think the other men would probably agree. It is much harder for us to get to that place of vulnerability. You know, it takes a lot for us to get to that place of vulnerability and to express that to a woman that we love, with the possibility of being portrayed as weak.
Yeah.
You know, in the moment. So if we do that, you know what I'm saying? And it is answered with, you know, snide remarks, or, you know, it's not received, then what do you think we're going to do?
Retreat.
Exactly.
I mean, I feel like that with both men and women.
But I think that women just have more spaces to, like, there are more spaces for y'all to be open and honest and free with each other. Like, I mean, it's just certain things that y'all say to each other that men could never do. Like, y'all get butt naked in front of each other. Like, that'd be crazy. I'd be like, like, you be with Woo and she be, I gotta measure you. And you just get butt naked right there. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Men will never be able, like, you know, I'll never be comfortable.
I'm like, what the fuck?
This nigga go, he want, I gotta get some tuxedo pants. So, you know what I'm saying? He want to measure my waist. He like, yo, pull your pants down. No. I got it. Here, give me the measuring tape. I go in the bathroom. It's the 36. So I'm just saying, I just think that there's more spaces for y'all. And I think that it's natural for y'all, to be honest with you. I think it's more natural for y'all than it is for us. I think that, you know, expressing yourself feelings wise and you know, even being able to identify what those feelings are, I think that women are up in the game on that. Like I think that y'all have some kind of natural thing, whereas we don't really have that. We don't even know, I was dealing with something recently, and emotions just came.
Yeah.
Like just boom. Like
Yeah.
you asked me, you said, so how you doing? And at first I was just chilling, but then what you asked me, resonated in my head, and I'm like, well, how you doing? And then that one time, like it was like, dang. And then a week later, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Yeah, like it really like hit me.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how to describe all of them feelings.
I was talking to your sister, and what I was explaining to her was that you don't allow yourself to feel how you're feeling. And it's so crazy because it's what I just said. You don't allow yourself to truly feel how you're feeling, with the fear that it will make the people that you love and care about feel some type of way. And so with the way that you were feeling about that particular thing, you just had to feel that. You had to feel it, and that's why it felt so foreign to you. You couldn't even express it, right? And you're a talker. Like, you, believe it or not, you are a communicator, and you can communicate.
You say believe it or not, though.
Because you were just talking about how, like, men, have a hard time, but you, when you are ready, you will communicate how you feel. But this one thing, you couldn't pinpoint it because you really had to feel that shit. Like, you had to feel that regardless of how anyone else felt. You know what I'm saying? And you had to feel it deep. And I think that's why it was so foreign to you, because I wanted you to feel that. I wanted you to feel all of it, even though it made you break down so heavy. You needed to feel that. Like, those are the things that, like, I feel like men lack. They don't feel their feelings. They suppress it and let it go. But when you take time to really feel it, it's I feel like it helps you to process it better.
But baby, I think that, I really want you to understand this. I have an amazing wife who I know is going to comfort me and is going to support me through whatever ordeal I go through. I have an amazing family. I have a sister who, I know that is going to support me through whatever I'm going through. I have Vic, who I know is going to support me through whatever I go through. I have Sean, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Sean.
I have people in my life that I know I can go to.
Yeah.
And it's safe.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
I know it's not normal.
So I just want you to be to understand, for men, like me and Vic's relationship.
Y'all little bromance. Y'all like, can't stop hugging each other.
It's not. I don't think that it's normal. Like,
I've never seen it.
Yeah, and that's a very vulnerable, like, relationship.
Yeah.
And it's not normal when in the men's world. It's just not normal. And I want to normalize it. And yes, I'm a communicator. And another thing about me is that, I've been dealing with my feelings so much that, I kind of know how to express them. With this one, I didn't know how to express. But normally I do, and I'm cool. Like, I don't care. Like, nigga, I can fight and all that, so I don't care. You can call me a sucker all you want. If I cry or whatever, blah, 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 like, shit, I've been through some shit. So I don't care what you say. And I'm comfortable with that. But it's a lot of men that's not comfortable with that. It's a lot of men that just lives in masculinity.
Yeah.
And don't want to show any signs of quote unquote weakness. And that's sad.
I like the quote, happy spouse, happy house. I think that because I've never really agreed with happy wife, happy life, because it's like, I want my nigga to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be the only one that's happy, because if I'm the only one that's happy and he ain't happy, what the fuck? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
You know what? That you know what?
Some women are gonna crucify me.
You know what? That was made up. That was made up back in
when the old men out here just wilding the fuck out.
It was crazy, and they was like, as long as you take care of home,
as long as you
straight.
take care of home, and they out working and doing whatever they doing, and they come home and they gotta, the wife. That shit. The wife is whack.
The wife is,
and they got
the wife
a bunch
whatever
of
she
secrets.
want. Yeah,
a bunch of secrets and a bunch of just shit.
Yeah, this a new day and age.
Yeah, like, everybody has to be happy.
Yes.
Everybody has to be happy because the world we live in is not a secretive world anymore. The internet doesn't allow that.
At all. At all.
The internet does not allow secrecy anymore. There is no hush hush
at
be
all.
Quiet type shit.
Yeah, I seen people catch their wives on dates and film it. Or live too. They be on Facebook Live. Look at her. Look at her. Y'all see her? No, don't try to grab my phone now.
Exactly. So look, real quick, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit.
All right.
So I've read somewhere.
My bad. Go ahead. Sorry, mi vida go. Oh, I just wanted to do that.
No one will get it. So
sorry, mi vida go. Oh.
But you know what? I'm proud of you. You have not interrupted me this entire
sorry,
show.
Mi vida go. Oh. That's gonna be my interruptions. I would start doing that as an interruption. All right.
Before we make it, because we said that we are going to be the #1 relational podcast, and you're gonna make.
Sorry, mi vida go. Oh, all right. I ain't gonna do it no more.
I'm done. I quit.
Go ahead,
nope,
go ahead.
I quit.
Come on, baby.
I'm done.
I'm stop.
Get off of me.
Go ahead.
Get off of me. Call you.
Call you now.
So I was reading somewhere healthy ways to do conflict resolution.
Okay.
And I found this to be very interesting.
Okay.
So one of the things that they said was to fight naked, because you won't be as mad, or you will forget about why you were fighting in the first place.
You know what's funny? When you said fight naked, you're talking about arguing.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about we actually tussling.
That shit gonna get crazy.
I was like, that's interesting. I like that. And then you started talking about that, and it just made me.
But so
threw me off.
It's two parts to this.
Okay.
Right? The fighting naked because you won't be as mad. And then they said you'll forget about why you were mad. I don't like that part.
But to forget about why you mad?
Yeah, because that's just like putting a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah, that's sweeping it under the rug.
Yeah, so I was looking at this site like, this is bullshit. This is not healthy ways to resolve conflict within your marriage, because now this is just telling someone it's okay. Your fucking wound is gushing with blood. Put a Band-Aid on it.
I had, on the way here, I was thinking, right? Because all of these things, right? So we want to be we're going to be the #1 relational podcast in the world, right? But I was thinking that people, remember, they was viewing us as relationship experts, and you know how you got motivational speakers or whatever. And I was thinking, no, and then relationship goals. And I'm like, we're a relationship case study.
Like shit.
Yes, that's what we are. We are a relationship case study. We're not gonna sit here and say that all of the things that we say are correct. They work for us. But what we are gonna do is dispel some of these things that people throw out there that they say
that's why
it's definitely gonna work. Like the don't go to sleep mad.
Fuck that. One thing I'm gonna tell you is, if I'm not ready to talk, like, okay, they say don't go to sleep mad because that person may not wake up. That's so fucking dramatic. Like, why would you place that on me? You know what I'm saying?
I never heard the end part.
Yeah,
Did you put the end part on?
No, that's like the original. Like, because
so
they may
so
not,
what that mean? You don't let them go to work mad because they may not come home. Like, you can put that scenario on so many different things.
Yeah, but Black and you and I have went to sleep mad.
Yes.
So many times, and I think that it was healthier that way, because if we tried, but you know what? Also, let me see. I keep circling back. I keep circling back because I look at how we've grown, right? And Now we don't go to sleep upset because we have matured in a way that we can talk about whatever it is that we've been going through. So we don't have to go to sleep upset. We may go to sleep a little uncomfortable, but it's not like it used to be in the past. Like, you and I would go days without talking, right? We haven't done that in so long, and we haven't went to sleep upset with each other. We may be like a little uncomfortable, or we may feel like we have some unfinished business, but it hasn't been to the point where we're going to sleep mad that you gonna be able to sleep because you can sleep whatever, but I can't sleep because I'm upset that we have all of this stuff that we have resolved. So I understand, don't go to sleep mad, but I think that it's kind of like it's an unrealistic expectation on a new relationship. Yeah. But in a mature relationship, I can see that being attainable, right? Yeah. Because now we can do that. We can have conversations, just like when you pulled me in a room, like you were like, hey. So y'all, the other day, I was so upset and frustrated it was just a very frustrating day. And Black and I have this thing where he drops the baby off to school and I pick her up. No, I drop her off at school. See
what I'm saying? This is my point. This is my point.
Don't interrupt me.
I'm gonna quit. Go on.
That's it. I'm done. I'm done.
No.
I'm getting out of here.
All right. I'm sorry.
Do it again. So I drop the baby off. He picks her up. So this one day, he decided, without talking to me, that he was going to take her to school. So in my mind, I'm like, we didn't agree on me picking her up because I had stuff to do. So I told him, I said, hey, I'm about to leave out. I got stuff to do. I got a lot of running. Matter of fact, I was running around for her party. And so we got to pick her up by 6:00. So, her teachers are really cool with me. So her teachers text me like, hey, Mom, is Dad on the way? And it's 6:05 and I am pissed because one thing I hate is having my kids waiting wherever, right? So I call him, I'm like, you didn't go pick up Royal? And he's like, nah, I'm getting in the shower. And when he said I'm getting in the shower, I just hung up on him because I was so pissed. And so when I went to get her, and I had just saw that video of those people that left that 2-year-old at the daycare and they had to call the police to get the baby out of the daycare.
I haven't seen that.
And so I literally just saw it that
morning. You
watch
too many videos.
Yeah,
you got to stop this.
I watched it that morning, and then and Gabby was with me, and I just started crying in the car, like, oh my God, how could he forget our child? And so I hung up on her because I was so pissed. Y'all, when I got home, the moment I walked in the door, Black was like, let me holler at you. Like, as soon as I got in. And he was like, come upstairs in the room. And we went upstairs in the room. And he looked at me and he was like, listen. And he held himself accountable for not, talking to me about, the pickup and the drop off situation. And then he was like, but you can't be hanging up on me like that. Like, that's not how we gonna do this. That's not how we gonna communicate. And once upon a time, he would have just had an attitude and been quiet and just like been irritated. And I would have still been irritated, right? But you calling me up in the room was so good, right? It was so good because it pulled me out of that frustrating and like disappointing thing that I had with you. And it also made me realize that, because when I hung up on you, I knew I was wrong, right? But you know how in the past, when I know I'm wrong, it's like I'll still stay there, right? But when you called me upstairs and you did that, I was just like, yes, I was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it just was different. And I know that in the past, it wouldn't have been that way. I would have still been frustrated and irritated with you, walking around the house mad. You would have been irritated. You know what I'm saying? And it probably would have went on for days because of that one thing. But because you called me upstairs and like, let's nip this in the bud now, we were able to move on past it very quickly, because even in that same conversation, I was like, all right, so what we about to do about food? You know what I'm saying? And it was just over so quickly. So I think that go to bed thing, don't go to bed while you're angry thing, it comes with maturity. And I think that that's the part that they don't tell you. They leave that part out. It comes with a mature relationship.
I think that, you know, all of these things that people are throwing out, including ourselves, are guidelines.
Yeah.
They're not, you know, rules. So I think that you take what works best for your relationship that creates a healthy relationship for you and your spouse.
Yeah.
Or you and whomever. You know what I'm saying? But all of these rules that people are throwing out here, like, they're not golden. They're not golden rules. Like, I think that some people, even years later, you know, they may need to go to sleep and calm down and wake up in the morning and, you know what I'm saying, and get back to it. But yeah, so I mean, that's just how I feel. But yeah, that's how I feel.
And so
What?
No, I was just thinking, and I'm very proud of us. I was just thinking about those moments where it was hard for us to even have conversations, like even these conversations that we have on a podcast.
Yeah.
It was very hard. I was thinking about, and I think I'm gonna post this, that time when we lived in an apartment, and we used to record ourselves. Because Pastor Marshall was like, you should record your conversations.
And your facial
and my
expressions.
body language was
horrible.
So bad. But, oh, God, I'm not going to get emotional
Let me ask you a
on this
question.
episode.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that women have a tough time with accountability?
So I was about to get to that. I think that when you've been hurt so much in relationships, it's really hard to gauge if somebody is really for you. So you have this guard up, right? Like for me, I've always had a guard up because I've been lied to so much. You know what I'm saying? Lied to so much and just been fed bullshit so much that whenever, like for you, when you came into my life, it was totally different. So I still had this guard up and this hard shell and this defensive position all the time because I wanted you to know that you're not about to fuck with me. You're not about to lie to me. And you're not going to think that you better than me. That's another thing. Like, you're not going to think you better than me because you can communicate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird, the type of things that run through your mind when you've been through so many traumatic relationships and so many traumatic experiences that you don't even allow yourself to be in that moment and appreciate that this person is holding you accountable because they care about you and they want you to see yourself so that you can be better, right? So in those moments, that's not what I'm thinking. In those moments, I'm thinking, I don't want to hear this shit. You know, I know who I am. I know what I did, even if I was wrong. You know what I mean? And so it was very hard for me my body language has always been a thing. Like my mother used to tear me up because of my body language. My body language has always been a thing because it's just, if I feel like I'm right, you can't convince me that I'm wrong. But the older I get, I realize that I'm not always right. And when I was thinking about that video, every time I think about like my old self, I always want to just say, hey, listen, it's okay, right? Listen, this person is not trying to hurt you. This person cares about you. Let's try to tone it down just a little bit. You can feel however you feel, but I want you to really listen right now because you're not listening because your body is just like I was doing all of that in the video.
Yes, she was.
I don't need you to fucking tell me what the fuck I was doing. I just said
go on.
That's it. I'm done.
Baby, it's just the perfect moments for us.
No, I'm done. I'm telling you, you have a half a time to do it. One more half. And so I was just thinking about that, and I realized that I don't do that anymore. That was really bad. I may make like a face, I may make a face like...
Your facial expressions are really getting lesser.
Yeah.
I'll be honest and say that they are, and your accountability is really getting, greater.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's because like I want to be a better human.
Yeah, I'm sorry. you are being a better human, but I want you to answer the question.
What was the question?
Do you think that women
Oh shit, nigga, you on my nerve.
do you think that women have a hard time holding themselves accountable?
I just said yes. When they've been through so many traumatic things,
Oh,
it's hard.
okay. You was talking about you.
I was talking about period.
No, I'm saying it sounded like you was talking. I got
yeah,
you.
I was lumping
But
myself into that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be held accountable by somebody that really cares about you when you've been through so many traumatic experiences. You know, it doesn't look like accountability. It looks like I'm about to go on victim mode, so I have to be defensive because I don't know what this is about to be. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like accountability at first because accountability is foreign in relationships when you're so used to being in defensive mode because you have to defend yourself from this narcissistic person that lies, that manipulates you all the time. So accountability is foreign now. So since it's foreign, you don't know how to react to it.
So let's bring this back. So if you understand that, right? That perspective, then you should definitely understand why men who've been conditioned their whole life to feel that they can't express themselves.
Okay.
You should see how hard it is for them to just express themselves to someone who just says, "Oh, I'm here for you. You can talk to me."
You think you slick. You've been waiting for this moment the whole episode to bring it back full circle. Yes, you have.
But when you was talking, it was like
so slick. But no,
when
you're
you
right.
was talking, it just clicked. It just clicked.
Yeah, and it actually just clicked for me too. But I also, so I was thinking about that, like men just getting married and still they get married, right? Because you did say that they feel like it may be a safe space, but then when they get into the relationship, then certain things are held against them. So I get it.
I think it's maturity, you know, all across the board. I think that, you know, we've grown into this. So I don't want people to think that, you know, we like any of these things that we're talking about that we've been immune to. Like there have been times where I didn't think it was safe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There have been times where you thought that, you know, I was trying to hurt you, and so you were being guarded. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But I think that both of us have grown in this relationship to where we are now, where we can have these kind of conversations, but everybody is definitely not like us.
I'm so excited about our future because if we're here and we'll be married 6 years in October. And if we are here in our 6th year of marriage, I'm excited to see where we'll be at 10 years and at 15 years and at 20 years. I think it just shows the work that we put in and the intentional work that we put in. And even though it's not perfect at all, but it's definitely worth it, and it's definitely worth the hardships that come with growth. And growth is such a scary thing when you know that you have to put in work in order to grow.
Yeah, I mean, everything, there's growing pains in everything you do. You know, and if it doesn't stretch you, then you're not growing. Yeah. So but yeah.
This has been a great episode of Friends Who Smash Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you come back next week, same time, same place. Please, 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 please help us to spread the words. Like, subscribe, share, comment, rate our podcast. Rate. Please, we ask that you do that. We are now, I'm gonna say this every time, we are both full-time entrepreneurs, and we really would appreciate your support because we are nothing without the support of our people that love and care about us and enjoy listening to our shenanigans and all the shit that we bring every week. Make sure you tell people to follow us on Instagram at Friends Who Smash Podcast.
We on Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
We're on Twitter too.
We're on Twitter?
We on Twitter. We don't be tweeting, but we on Twitter.
I definitely ain't tweeting. We need to get somebody to deal with our Twitter.
We on TikTok. Oh
yeah, we're on TikTok. We got to get better with our stuff. It's so much time. But also make sure you visit our shop. We have our hoodies. We have our t-shirts on Instagram. Friends Who Smash Podcast. No, friendswhosmash.com. Foreverduncan.com. To get our merch. Please support us in that way. What else?
That's it.
That's it.
We
That's
out
it.
here. We killing.
We love y'all so much. Thank you so much. Shout out to Cindy Girl.
Cindy Girl. We love y'all.
Love you, baby.
I love you too, baby.
Peace.
Peace.